y'all, I am Hope here at Crafty Hope and welcome. I am working on day 48 of ICAD, which is Index Card a Day. It comes from Tammy Garcia of Daisy Yellow. I'll have her links and information below. Tammy gives weekly themes and daily prompts to help with your ICAD spark, to give a little spark of inspiration. I don't tend to work with the themes. I don't know, there's something about using the same theme for the whole week that's just too much for me. But a prompt that changes daily, I can do that most days. So today her prompt is Chevron, and I showed you there, you can see up in the upper left corner that I have a Chevron stencil. I think that's from Faber-Castell. I'll put a link below if I can find it. But then also my friend Nina Fickett has her own set of daily prompts that she calls Mixed Media ICAD, and her prompt today is clock. And I realized when I saw remembered when I saw that I have a little set of vellum clock faces that I don't even know where they came from, but I went and found a couple of those that I liked and pulled them out when I went and got that stencil, and then I started on my card. And what I like to do is start with a little bit of collage. It covers up that white space, it thickens up the card, and it just kind of gives me, I don't know, it makes me get started and then kind of gives me somewhere to go from there. So I'm using scraps from a couple of scrap boxes I have because I don't want to create more, but y'all, I'm getting so ready to jump into my other papers. I was looking for something yesterday and realized how many gorgeous papers I have. So I'm ready for ICAD to I don't know, for me to use up some more of these scraps, I guess. All right, so I'm just gluing these scraps down with an Oohoo glue stick. And I'm looking at that, and y'all, this card, I don't know. When I finished it, I was not super thrilled with it, but then as I was editing the pictures, I felt a lot better about it. There was something in the details of this one that I really like. There's one or two things I might have added that I didn't, and I thought about going ahead and not re-recording, but popping the camera back on and recording some more. And I didn't because I was like, no, I've already taken pictures. I've edited most of the pictures. I am good. And like I said, it's in the details is a really nice card. So once I got my collage done, you saw I took a Stabilo all pencil in black and I just did some scribbling and I'm activating all of it. Now, y'all, this is probably one of my favorite things. The way I've activated this, all of it is getting wet. But over there on the right side, I had some deli paper that has a little bit of, I don't know, coffee stains on it. And the way the Stabilo activated there, I really like that. I'm going to have to play with that a little bit more because that was yummy. And I think that's what I'm liking about doing the collage and using my scraps and doing ICAD is I get to experiment with different materials and things, and it's just a small substrate, and I can find out, I don't know, what it is I like. And with this one, I really did discover some things I like. Like I said, that deli paper with the Stabilo, so yummy. So something told me to grab some light yellow. This is Golden Straw acrylic paint by Americana, and I'm just using a cosmetic sponge to get it down. I did not put it across the whole card, but a good portion of it has some of that on there. And then I grabbed my yogurt cup that has some dried up instant coffee in it. I reactivated it just slightly, and I'm using a wet paintbrush first to frame this up. And then once I get framed up, I'm like, oh, I need more on my card. So I'm going to make a series of like 3 marks just like that all over the card. Almost the entirety of the card, y'all. I was like, stop, Hope. And then just for good measure, I'm going to splatter the paint as well because I can't help myself. I can't. I've got to have the coffee splatter. I love it. And then I'll dry this real quick because, yeah, that coffee splatter is no good if it's not dried up. And it's kind of just there in the background, that coffee. And so now I'm playing with these 2 clocks I'd pulled out. I thought maybe I would layer them somehow. And as I move them around, I really didn't like the squared edges of that black darker one. So I may go back later and cut that one down into just a circle. But I like this kind of elongated one, and I like the vellum portion of it, I could see through it and see some of the stuff that's behind it. So I'm going to go ahead and tack it down. No, I'm not. I decided I needed some more white on my card. So I'm going to do some white splatter with just some gesso and water. And this is another one of those things that I really liked is I put down an initial layer of splatter here. And like I said, just white gesso, watered down. And I'll dry this and then decide I need more white splatter. So I'll add another layer of splatter on top of that. And again, this is one of my favorite details. So I start to do things. I'm going to dry this, and as I'm drying it, I'm like, no, I need more white. I got to have more white. So more splatter it is. And yeah, there's something about that second layer of white splatter in the end that really, you can see in the detail shots, it's really kind of yummy. So now I'm going to tack down my vellum clock. Now I know with vellum, it can be really tricky with adhesives, so I knew I needed something maybe a little bit more to ensure that that clock stays down. So I grab up in my pincushion is a needle that's got some light violet thread. I used that thread several days ago on a photo booth thing. I'll put a link up in the upper right. But yeah, just a couple days ago, I used this same thread to tack something else down, and I'm gonna do basically the same thing. Put some stitches over on one side, and then put some stitches over on the other side. And more than anything, this wasn't about the color. I mean, I'm glad I did look at several colors that were in my pin cushion, and none of them were quite right. But this light violet, since I've got a little bit on the card already, kind of it worked, and it just blends in. I could have gone, I was being lazy, y'all. I didn't want to get up and go fish my boxes of a embroidery floss from across the room and find something that would stand out a little more. And this again was just really purely to kind of make sure that this clock doesn't pop off later. So I'm putting, yeah, several stitches. And while I'm doing it, I'm like, I need something else, something with more texture, something that kind of comes off the page. This all is feeling very flat. And so as I'm stitching, I'm like, you know what would be really nice is a button. So I'm going to do this stitch here and then decide to start looking around on my desk for a button. And it didn't matter the color. It didn't matter anything. I was just like, I just need a button. I need some texture on here. So I'm, yeah, pulling out my little bowls of jewelry supplies because, yeah, I thought maybe I have some, and then I was like, well, you know, my scrap box, I know I've thrown a couple buttons in. So I pull out this golden one. I'm sure it's brass. That's got like an eagle on it. It's very military feeling. And I start to stitch it on, and I realize I've got the eagle upside down. So I have to pull my needle off my thread and take, yeah, see there, I'm like, wait a minute, that eagle's upside down. So I'm going to take it off and rethread my needle and get that button back on there in the right direction. I clipped this out because it took me a few tries to get that needle rethreaded. So, and I'm going to do, I think it's 3 stitches across this just to get that button secure. It still moves a little on the card, but that's okay. I just didn't want it super loose. And I don't know what it was about this that I was like, I need a button. It doesn't make any sense. Why would there be a clock and a button? Why? Just, this card doesn't make much sense. Like I said, it's a lot about experimenting and playing with what I like. And you would think after day 48 of ICAD, I would know a little bit more about what I like. But no, I'm still always experimenting. Always, always. All right, so I've got that button on there. I'm going to tie this off. Takes me a little bit of fiddling. And then I'm like, okay, I need to be finishing this up. So I go to look for a sentiment, and I pull out the Tim Holtz metallic stickers. What I really wanted was the black with like the gold writing on it, but I could not find that one when I went to look. So I've got the one with the silver. And I figured that's fine. This card has no cohesiveness as it is anyway. And I stick down a sticker that says one of a kind because, like I said, none of this makes any sense. It's very bizarre. It's definitely one of a kind, just like me, just like you. And I'm going to use my Stabilo to add a little bit of shadow around these focal elements and activate it with just a wet paintbrush, and then I will be done. At this point, I was like, ugh. Like I said, I didn't like this card when I finished it, but once I took the pictures and started looking at it, I really liked the details in it, and I hope you do too. Stay for those pictures. Let me know what you think. If you do like this, make sure to give me a thumbs up, and if you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that red subscribe button below. I would really appreciate it. All right, y'all. Thanks for coming by and watching. I will see y'all tomorrow. Bye.